Alright, hello everybody. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Gabriel, coming at you straight from Queens, New York, and today we are going to be talking about the presidential debate, more specifically, a specific group that was brought up during the debate. So, at one point in the debate, the moderator asked Trump to denounce white supremacy. Trump said sure, and then some rambling, and then Trump asked, like, what group, what are you talking about specifically? And then Biden said Proud Boys, insinuating that the Proud Boys are a white supremacist group. So then Trump said about Proud Boys to stand by and stay ready. Now, this begs the question, who are the Proud Boys? And to answer that, there's only really two ways. When you want to find out about a person, you really have to either ask about that person or group. Ask about them, so what others say about that person or group, and you ask them directly, right? So that's the only two ways to get to know a group or a person, right? So that's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to be doing the digital version of asking others about the Proud Boys and asking the Proud Boys about the Proud Boys. So what we're going to do here is I'm going to pull up the my desktop here, and what I have here brought up is two websites. One website is proudboysusa.com, opened up to the tenant section in their about. I like to go to the about sections for these websites, for these groups. And then I have the wiki of the Proud Boys brought up. And then the way that I found the website was I did a really quick Google search of Proud Boys, and yeah, I mean, the wiki for Proud Boys is right there. Oddly enough, the page for the Proud Boys doesn't come up in the Google search for a couple of pages, so I actually had to do a little bit of digging. It's like to like affiliated websites to get to the actual proudboysusa.com website. So yeah, so the Proud Boys are they're somewhat shadow banned, to be quite honest. So anywho, let's look at what and like I said, Wikipedia is not a scholarly source, but it is kind of like a overall left-leaning source of information. It's not always accurate, but it does kind of exemplify what most people think, especially on the left, right? It's what most people on the left think. This is part of that bias, that left-leaning bias that Wikipedia has, is actually part of the reason why I use it. Because I have a right-leaning bias, so I prefer to use a source with the opposite bias that I have, just in case I see some, to help balance me out. It's not like I'm like far right or anything like that. I'm more centrist than anything. But anywho, let's look at what Wikipedia has to say about the Proud Boys. This is also, I guess, what the left believes about the Proud Boys. So we have here the logo here. It's I'm gonna guess that's 13 stars. I'm not gonna count, but it has a cock. With the Proud Boys and the West is the best. And we see here that the leader is Enrique Tarrio. Enrique Tarrio is an American spokesperson, activist, and international chairman of the controversial male-only Proud Boy organization. Tarrio has summarized the Proud Boys as a men's drinking club and pro-Western fraternal organization for men on several occasions. Okay, so right there from the leader of the Proud Boys himself, I have looked into him a little bit. He is an Afro-Cuban. He is half black, half Cuban. So right from the leader's mouth, we have already kind of an established sense of what he believes his group is, which is a drinking club and a fraternity. And if you know anything about fraternity, you know that fraternities, sororities, like all these groups, they tend to be exclusive to one sex. They tend to be all boy or all girls. This is not abnormal for fraternities and sorority groups, right? So here we go. Let's keep reading here. That it started 4 years ago in 2016 against socialism and progressive political groups. And you know how I feel about so-called progressive political groups. They will be more accurately defined as regressive. In the United States and in Canada, and according to Wikipedia, their ideology is neo-fascism, white nationalism, ultranationalism, neoconservatism, chauvinism, anti-communism, and reactionaryism. They're part of the far right. Major actions: vandalism, beating of counter protesters, and violent attacks against progressive militants. See, now that is quite the bold claim there. I wonder, neutrality is disputed. so right there, even on the Wikipedia site itself, the major actions part of the Proud Boys little like summary here is already saying that this is disputed. This may be too biased even for Wikipedia. All right, so let's actually do some reading here. The Proud Boys are a far-right, white nationalist, and neo-fascist, male-only organization that promotes and engages in political violence. It is based in the U.S. and also Canada. The group was started as a joke in the far-right Takis magazine in 2016 by Vice Media co-founder and former commentator Gavin McInnes, taking its name from the song "Proud of Your Boy" from the Disney musical Aladdin. So right off the back, we have it's hilarious how you can kind of see the mentality of the left-leaning bias here, even in Wiki, where they label the Proud Boys this far right, white nationalist, neo-fascist, male only, but then they like, yeah, it's also a joke. Started as a joke. The name is from a freaking Disney song. The name is from a Disney song. It's like, come on, think. If it got started as a joke, naturally it's not going to like turn into the white nationalist neo-fascist male only terror, no, it's not those things. So I mean, we already have the neutrality is disputed statement about the little section here, and it's already painting a kind of like a duality where they want the Proud Boys to be a certain thing, but then when they actually look into like what they actually are, it just falls apart immediately. The group believes men, especially white men, and Western culture are under siege. Their views have elements of white genocide conspiracy theory. Officially, the group rejects white supremacy, although it has significant ties with white supremacy. So again, this right here is like they want the Proud Boys to be something because they say that it's especially white men, and that is taking elements of the white genocide conspiracy, but that the group rejects white supremacy at the same time. That doesn't make no damn sense. You can't be for it and against it at the same time. That doesn't make any sense. So again, it's like within the same paragraph, you have 1 point for them being all these evil things, and then 1 point for them not being those things. So then what's gonna happen when we go to the Proud Boys website? It's like, of course they're gonna not say that they're not these things. So then when we ask the people what they think the Proud Boys are, and then when we ask what the Proud Boys themselves think they are, you have this stuff here like being countering itself, right? They bring up 1 point and then they immediately disprove themselves, and then you have this, and then you're gonna have the Proud Boys themselves obviously saying that they're not those things. So the net total is gonna be that the Proud Boys are not those things. All right, so let's keep going here. In late November, it was reported the FBI classified the Proud Boys as an extremist group. 2 weeks later, an FBI briefing, law enforcement officials denied that it was their intent to classify the entire group. During the briefing, FBI agents suggested using websites for more information. The officials said that their intent was to characterize possible threats from certain members of the group. Again, they make a claim early on, that the FBI called them a white nationalist hate group or whatnot. But then they were like, oh, by the way, the FBI didn't do that. They're a white supremacist culture group, but also they denounce white supremacy. They're like all the worst things in history, but also they're just a joke with a name based off of a Disney movie. Like, what are you doing? What is this wiki entry? What is this Wikipedia entry? They say one thing on the beginning and then immediately disprove what they just said. Every single paragraph. I don't. What is this? Oh man. And then it's so then that it says here that the Southern Poverty Law Center classifies them as a hate group, and that McGinnis is also suing them for classifying them as a hate group because it's untrue and is damaged his career for them to classify the group that he used to be a part of, that he used to be the leader of. Wow. Better than those images. Get the video flagged real quick. So okay, so the Wikipedia entry was a mess. They say one thing and then they say the exact opposite thing every single paragraph. So leave that as it may. So then let's see what the Proud Boys themselves say what their tenets are. And now I looked through a couple of this. The facts is just about joining, so we don't really care about that. The important part that they answer in the facts about joining, they also answer here in the tenets. So let's go to the tenets here. As you can see here, a bunch of Proud Boys, and this guy right here, that's Enrique Tario. Let's actually go ahead and open up his tab here. Wow, okay. Is an American spokesperson, blah blah blah. He was born in Miami, Florida. Tario has been quoted saying he denounces white supremacy, he denounces fascism and communism. I'm pretty brown, I'm Cuban, there's nothing white supremacists about me. So, okay. So that's their leader. That's the guy that all the other Proud Boy members take their cue from. All right. So this is the guy that is leading the group in the direction that he believes the group should go. And here we go. The core values. They believe in minimal government and maximum freedom. Okay? They believe in anti-political correctness, anti-PC culture. Okay? They're anti-drug war. I remember this used to be a left-leaning thing. Being anti-drug war used to be a left-leaning talking point, but now I guess white supremacists are anti-drug war now. Closed borders. All right, build the wall. Anti-racial guilt. So anti-racial guilt is just anti the whole white privilege nonsense, anti the whole if you're a minority you're somehow oppressed just because of being a minority. They're anti-racism. They're pro free speech and pro gun rights, First and Second Amendment. They want to glorify the entrepreneur. That's interesting, because like all this stuff here that they're saying was not at all present and like the group believes, men, especially white men. I haven't heard a single thing about white men so far. Venerating the housewife. Wow, look at that. Venerating the housewife, eh? Reinstating a spirit of Western chauvinism. All right, so here we go. There's one of the isms that was brought up. So they are in fact Western chauvinists. Okay. Though these are our central tenets, let's keep reading. Our tenets. All that is required to become a Proud Boy is that a man declare he is a Western chauvinist who refuses to apologize for creating the modern world. We do not discriminate. Oh, this is interesting right here. We do not discriminate based upon race or sexual orientation / preference. We are not an Islamist or phobic that fits the leftist narrative, except for the Western chauvinists. Because, well, I mean, I'm guessing the way that they define Western chauvinist, which is a somebody that is proud of creating the modern world. That's how they define Western chauvinists. But over here, I mean, chauvinism is a form of extreme patriotism and nationalism, a fervent faith in national excellence and glory. It is an irrational belief in the superiority or dominance of one's own group or people who are seen as strong and virtuous, while others are considered weak or unworthy. See, so then that's chauvinism. But they add the qualifier Western chauvinist, right? So the group that this would have to be talking about is just anybody that lives in a Western society. So we're talking about Australia, we're talking about the UK, we're talking about Canada, we're talking about the USA, we're talking about Japan. Japan, I think so. Yeah, Japan is considered Western. It's pretty modern, like all these countries. Like first world countries, basically, is what Western culture is. We are not we truly believe that the West. See, that this is pretty much how they define what is the Western chauvinist. Is somebody that truly believes that the West is the best, and welcome those who believe in the same tenets as us. And these are the tenets. These are the tenets of the Western chauvinist. This is what a Western chauvinist believes in. All right. Which is a stark contrast. And given the fact that they were contradicting themselves here on the wiki entry, I'm more inclined to believe what they say they are as opposed to what wiki says they are, because wiki was going against their own words on every single paragraph. Okay, we go here to the home page. The world's greatest fraternal organization. The time for apologies is past. I am a Western chauvinist and I refuse to apologize for creating the modern world. The West is the best. And I'm not interested in joining any type of group, but I do agree with that notion that Western culture is the best. Yeah, absolutely. Justice for liberty. So here's I guess one of their members married to a black woman with mixed race kids. So a little message here. Let's play this. What it says.
Mr. Stone, is there something that you want to tell the Proud Boys?
Yeah, absolutely. Keep the faith. Don't let them wear you down. The globalists, the two-party duopoly, Robert Mueller, the deep state, the Wall Street Journal, the New York Times, the Washington Post, they want to wear us down. Never give up the fight. We will prevail. A man is not defeated. Pardon me, let me just get this right. A man is not finished when he is defeated. He is only finished when he quits. Richard Nixon. God bless you.
Uhuru.
A little, I think, Uru, whatever, that's like the little, like, chant or whatever. So that's who the Proud Boys are. I don't think they're white supremacists. I mean, they're literally being led by a black man. I don't think they're all white nationalists. I think Wiki has it wrong here. I think the bias, and Wiki does say it themselves. Wiki says that the statement is probably biased. They call themselves out. It's super not accurate. Yeah. So there you go. That's it for Mint, man. Thanks for watching.